So this may not be e-paper in the traditional sense, but for all intents and purposes, this unit kind of is an alternative. This is the Garmin Vivofit 4, and why it's here on our table today is because Garmin sent us this for review and unboxing, so thank you to Garmin for this review sample. The Vivofit 4, unlike the other devices in their lineup, uses MIP instead of OLED, which basically means that, much like the way e-paper particles work, the individual pixels don't consume battery until they change state or are called upon to do so, which basically means that it treats itself the same way as e-paper. The box is fairly tall, lightweight, and has some both portrait and landscape oriented information on it. It does have a plastic retail clip for hanging in a store, and this entire unit is actually not made in China, it's made in Taiwan. No tape or plastic wrapping in the overall box. I must say they are trying to be conscious with the packaging, but there are still some shortcomings. They have an unnecessary plastic sleeve, which you don't need to have for these decals here, and they have a plastic retail clip, which again is not necessary. Because this thing is so light, you don't need this very thick gauge plastic chunk to hang a very small watch in a retail environment. In fact, this could hold the weight of itself just by having this made out of paper. So that was a little bit of a weird kind of choice of theirs. You have the warranty information right there with a corresponding serial number. Hold on to this if you have any issues. Of course, this is all in Japanese because we conduct the reviews here from our Goody Reader Japan office. We'll get to the device in a second. Let's look at this absolute tome of a Bible here. Wow, that's huge. Now, this may only be in Japanese when it comes to that, but it looks like the information comes in 7 different languages, including Vietnamese, which is kind of cool, and there's 127 pages in here. That is a lot of pages. So refer to this or their website if you have any questions, and they do seem to have a suffix for each respective country, so that's kind of nice. Now for the unit itself, this is really cool. We do always appreciate these kind of e-paper alternative devices because e-paper alternatives don't really exist outside of the odd RLCD, RLED, and the DES technology. So MIP is kind of an emerging tech that really gives you the same overall effect, but even we ourselves don't know why they don't make gigantic screens out of this technology. It must be expensive. We don't know why nothing above a 1-inch screen exists, but you can already see how dull the screen is, and that's a positive thing I'm saying. So what you're looking at on the screen here is very similar to that of an RLCD. So if you've looked at our coverage of the Q5, you'll see that it kind of utilizes a lot of the ambient light to power what is coming out of the screen itself. So if you tilt it off, it's like, oh, look at that, I can't really see it. Then you catch some light and you're like, oh, there it is. And it kind of changes tones as you move it. So as you go like that, you get kind of a silvery look. You go down, it kind of turns into a dark copper. So it really does utilize the fluorescence and the incandescence and the tungsten lights around you, as well as the ambient light, of course, in order to better itself as an actual display. Now you see those little feet. Right now, those green feet are not moving. Those pixels are in a solid state and are no longer consuming battery. When I do something like that, and you see how the little circles are now moving, the 7500 is not utilizing batteries, but that little target, when it moved, that is. So the pixels stay in stasis mode until they're called upon to change state. AKA, they don't use any battery, but it's still showing up in color, which makes MIP so amazing. Now the unit itself is a single body, so it's not like you can swap the straps or anything, and I don't believe you can pop this actual module out because that's really in there. It kind of feels like it's all one single build. We will obviously confirm on the full review video. This is the unboxing. The device and the actual strap and the module itself, all the packaging is all made in Taiwan, so that's really cool. You get Garmin on the strap here, and you do have a lot of different choices of band. The band goes all the way up to the front. I kind of don't like those bands that only have 6 little options like that, because then it doesn't fit everyone's wrist. What if your wrist is really small? You need it to go all the way up. So that's cool that they do that. It looks like you have some functions. You can do long press, you can do single press. So we'll get into all this in the full review. But for now, everybody, this is the Garmin Vivofit 4 with an MIP memory in pixel e-paper alternative screen coming at you. And there's a review coming up right around the corner. Everyone, thanks for watching.